At Tag Team Collectibles in Kokomo, Indiana, we just had our very first Elestrals Locals. Here's how it went. We managed an 8-person Locals for our first week. However, I'm pretty happy with the turnout, as we didn't make any posts on social media advertising the event, so it was just people from my friend group, as well as one of the store owners participating. A lot of these people playing were newer or were brand new to the game, so there were misplays that were definitely made, but I've got footage of some of them, so I'll be informing the players of any mistakes, that way we can have proper gameplay going forward. I'm going to go ahead and skim through the top table games to show the decks that were played, and I'll be pointing out any mistakes as I see them, as well as commenting on what happened throughout the matches. So we'll get right into it. Round 1 was me versus another player at our Locals, Chris. I was on Water, he was on Morfrost. It was not very good for camera. Not a lot happened during most of this because it was his first ever game playing, so I had to explain quite a bit of what was going on. I had to mulligan because I had no Waters going first, just 2 Lavalith, which was not a great start for already choosing to have gone first. I wasn't punished by the mulligan because I got a Drataqua, so I played it, played Atlantis, set 1, and then he immediately started doing Morfrost things. This entire game is a lot of me explaining how different parts of the game work to him, as well as telling him how his deck functions. That way I kind of walked him into beating me. After he got an explanation, he was able to grasp the idea of the deck. He's played games with similar ideologies in it, so it made a lot of sense. You want to fill your grave up with these guys to make your other guys really big. You want to use Cryoling into Cryoburn as an engine to get another big guy. But I'm not going to show the full match just because so little happened, and I'd hate to have people sit through. I believe there's over 30 minutes of footage here, even though I think we said best of 30 minutes for Locals was probably the way to do it. So we'll go ahead and put it at he won. I walked him through what to do while kind of not playing optimally myself, because I'd rather people know how to use their cards than get a win out of it. And he has a good deck. Morfrost is great. It's very, very good. Water is also very solid, but does not hold up as well as it does if being played correctly. Round 2 was a little bit different. It still wasn't amazing for recording just because everyone is still a bit new, so everyone's learning things. And also this was a match between Taylor, one of the store owners, and once again Chris, since we stayed at table 1. When someone would walk into the store, Taylor would have to get up, walk away. I believe it only happened once during this on-camera match, but still it makes for a strange break in the recording. When playing this out, it was pretty cut and dry still. Chris went first, did Astrabbit, set 1, pass. Taylor went ahead and used Aeolus to grab a Hydrake, because Taylor is on Penterror. Set 2, attempts to attack, but nothing happens because there's not any trade that would happen there. And then Chris starts doing Morfrost things again. He normal casts Indus, sends A-Bomb plus Indus, attempts to crash Indus into Hydrake. Shield bounces Indus back to hand, preventing Indus from getting its effect to pop the shield, which was the point. And then on Taylor's turn, Astrabbit hits board, Astrabbit gets PTA'd, Ambrosia gets played, and then at end of turn, the PTA kills the Astrabbit. Chris keeps on doing Morfrost things. He just keeps playing them. A P-Gus gets played to target the setback row, which procs Gorgon's Gaze. Hydrake then attacks and kills Indus. But the Gorgon's Gaze that Taylor had set that turn was activated to target the Indus, that way its effect would be suppressed, which is not something you can do. Gorgon's Gaze was set that turn. I have to go ahead and double check, but I'm fairly certain they work the same as trap cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! You have to set them and then wait at least 1 turn. I will double check myself on that though, so if I'm wrong, don't get at me in the comments. I'll be actually checking beforehand to be sure I'm correct on that before I go ahead and correct anyone else on it. They keep on playing, they keep going. Nemasail gets cast, Aeolus searches Hydrake again, And then on one of Chris's turns, there is an ascension that happens to go from an Astrabbit into a Misenchanted Cryovern, which then gets kind of tricky, because later on in the turn, he normal casts an Astrabbit. Now, I don't believe there's any malicious intent here. Like, this is his second game playing. I need to let him know that you can't do both. I believe I handed everyone a reminder card. He didn't have it in front of him, it doesn't look like, so he just didn't catch it. I will be being sure that information is 100% known by everyone. And then, later on, there was another misplay. There is a time where Cryovern is enchanted on the field. It's given another spirit, and then Abomination Morfrost is normal cast, which, once again, you can only do one of the total actions. So it is incorrect to have these things happen in this way, and I will be letting people know. It could have changed something in the game, but at the tempo at which things were going, I don't believe Taylor would have come out from there anyway. So I don't think it's terrible, but I will be letting people know. Round 3 was way more interesting, had tons more to watch because it was between two people on very, very good decks in the upcoming format. Surprisingly, both of which had just learned how to play earlier on in the day. Jordan is on Thunder Nexus versus Chris on Morfrost, still in Table 1. And on Jordan's turn, he normal casts Jolton, adds Mount Olympus, sets 1, and passes. On Chris's turn, he sets 1, normals Indus, which then gets Gorgon's Gaze so it does not send anything. And on Jordan's turn, he normal casts Astrabbit, Astrabbit gets PTA'd, Zeus gets cast, and then Jordan activates Circle the Sky, nexting 2 to Astrabbit, drawing a card and activating Astrabbit's effect to look at top 3 and add 1, drawing into another Circle the Sky, activating Circle the Sky, nexting 2 to Astrabbit, activating Astrabbit, so he gets to draw 1 and add another card, then activates Mount Olympus, goes to battle, Jolton kills Morfrost, and then Astrabbit swings direct for 5 spirits. And then at the end of the turn, PTA kills Astrabbit. On Chris's turn, Earthquakes the Jolton, normal summons Harpoon, searches Cryoling, and then attacks, and then passes. Back to Jordan, activates Ambrosia, normal casts Toxeon, using its effect, sets 2, and then Toxeon kills Narpoon. Back to Chris, who normal summons Astrabbit, and then sets 1. And then Jordan normal casts Elechit, grabs Zeus, casts Zeus. Zeus is the Astrabbit, Elechit kills Astrabbit, and then Toxeon attacks direct. Chris's turn, he's doing his best to try and stay in. He normal casts Cryoling, which automatically has to special ascend into Cryovern. He attacks with Cryovern, which Jordan activates Alter to Nexus 1 to Toxeon to activate the effect. The turn gets passed. And then Jordan normal casts Spark It, activates effect, Nexusing on to Toxeon, and then swings in for game. All in all, it was a very, very fun locals. There were a couple of things I need to mention to people about what you're able to do. I tried to keep notes on what went wrong, that way I can let people know, or specifically tell the people that made the mistakes what happened. It was really cool. Maybe in the future I'll record more locals and it'll be the full games going on because people will be playing a little faster once they've learned a bit more. But I'm looking forward to the future and I'm so glad that we were able to start already. See you guys next time.